Pavitamscha. He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Stuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarivascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Text, where are we? Text 1, right? Which text is it? 2. Okay. Ranga Dvaram Samasadvaya Ranga Dvaram Samasadya Tasmid Nagam Avastitam Tasman Nagam Avastitam Apasyat Kurvala Pidam Apasyat Kurvala Pidam Krishna Mrigaga Pochidatam Krishna Magya Pachoditam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. When Lord Krishna reached the entrance of the arena, he saw the elephant Kavaliyapita blocking his way at the urging of his keeper. Purport. The elephant keeper revealed his malicious intent by blocking Lord Krishna's entrance into the arena. So this is the mentality of the materialist. They want to block Krishna. Demoniac mentality. So, and this is Treta Yuga, the demons were on the same planet. But in the Kali Yuga, the demons are in the same mind. We have to struggle with demons in our own mind. Therefore, we don't kill. You see, Krishna is going to kill this elephant and the keeper and so on. But we can't kill demons. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was ready to kill, but he didn't kill because of the pleading of Lord Nityananda. So this is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. We don't kill the body, but we try to kill the demonic mentality by loud kirtan. This loud kirtan is the best method for advancing in this age of Kali. Kaliya Desha Nidai Rajan. Asti Heko Mahangar. Mahaguna. Although it's an ocean of faults, there's one great quality. This is Krishna Kirtan. And we can do it very simply, right? It doesn't require some paraphernalia we have to collect first or something. No, we can just come, raise our hand, chant Hare Krishna, dance as we feel the mood. And that process alone will deliver us. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. 3 Nasteva means we don't need jnana, we don't need yoga, we don't need, what is it? Jnana, yoga, and karma, thank you. People are trying to get good karma, doing good work. They think that will be good for their future. But it's not necessary. Just come to the point of pure bhakti and everything will follow. Because Krishna is attracted to bhakti. And but that means we have to chant with devotion. It's not just a sport that we come and chant. We should try to meditate on the name, and we should try to also follow the principles we were mentioning yesterday, the 4 principles. Cleanliness, austerity, mercy, and truthfulness. This is the principles of religion. It's not Hindu, Muslim, Christian. This is religious principle, that to be clean, to be austere, to be merciful, like that, to perform a little austerity. So this is the regular principles that Srila Prabhupada has given us. No illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication. It's not very difficult austerity. Grab some water. Sometimes Prabhupada said, I'm only asking you to give up your poison. These things are poisonous. Illicit sex, intoxication, gambling. Even the karmis know that meat eating is poisonous. It's giving colon cancer and so many things. They don't recommend that you eat, especially red meat, they say. But any kind of meat, we know, because the killing is there. On the subtle plane, the karma, or the fact that we can't offer to Krishna. We want to come ultimately to pleasing Krishna. So we're not just vegetarians, we're Krishnatarians. We offer up food to Krishna, and then it becomes purified. Otherwise, even the animal, even the plants have life. There'll be some karma. So we want to become karma-free. That's like you're saying, karma. Finish with your karma. We're not interested in getting good karma or bad karma. Here. Why don't you watch? So it's very simple how to get to the spiritual world. It doesn't require great austerity. It doesn't require great tapasya. But a little tapasya has to be there. What is that? Rise early in the morning. Oh, I can't get up. No. Sleep until 8 o'clock. No. Morning is the best time for spiritual life. So we should get up early, before 4 or 5, and take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna. To live in the temple, everybody has to be here in the temple room by 4:30. And they come. So some austerity is there. Prabhupada expected that. He said, don't make the temple a place for, like a hotel, for eating and sleeping. This is a place for purification, for the men and women to be trained up, so that they can go out in society. Now, not that everybody's going to stay in the temple the whole life. They can go out, become ideal grihastas, show the example of what Vaishnava is, what a devotee of Krishna is, and then encourage people, young boys especially, should live in the ashram for some years. Then they have that training. They get a little higher taste. Then if they enter into grihastha ashram, they won't be the dancing dog in the hand of the woman. So this is the process. Not very difficult, but it does require some determination because, like Prabhupada said in London, this is, how many times? 8? 3. 4. Prabhupada was alert that the bells were chimed on time. In Vrindavan especially, I remember. He's saying, why the watchman didn't ring the bells this morning? He was very conscious that everything was done nicely. So this is the process. We don't have to change our position. Just take up this chanting and associate with devotees. This is the key factor, association. Lord Chaitanya said, better to live with the crocodiles than with the non-devotees. Non-devotees means their goal is to get ahead in this world. There's 4 ways we can get ahead. By personal beauty, by education, PhD, whatever. The mothers are encouraging here in India especially, right? Get educated, get educated. And then, what was the third one is money. And fourth one is, forget. But anyway, the point is, people are everywhere, worldly minded. They want to get ahead in this world. But a devotee sees that that is a waste of time. Because no matter how much you get ahead in this world, you have to die. And then what happens? Oh, nobody knows. No, we know. Krishna tells us. Whatever you remember at the time of death, you're going to go. So we try to remember Krishna. Krishna advises, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha taktariham panajana naiti mametu sojuna. What is that? If we can remember Krishna's birth, therefore we celebrate Janmashtami. It's a special day because Krishna appeared. Janma karma. And his work, lifting Govardhan Hill, killing the demons. These things we can meditate on. Here he's going to kill this demon. And his keeper, the elephant and the elephant keeper, will both be killed. So these are cause for appreciating Krishna. He's all-rounded. He's not just a scholar. He's also a killer. But all the Vedas is to be known by him. It's not that he doesn't know the philosophy or the Veda. He's the source of the Veda. From him everything is coming. Everything material and spiritual is coming from him. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. So if we come to know Krishna, then we become perfect. So that was what Prabhupada was encouraging us. Become Krishna conscious, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. To always remember Krishna and never to forget him. In that way, our future is very bright. Otherwise, you may get PhD and make a lot of money, live in a big house, but then you're kicked out in due course of time. Krishna is also the time. He says, time I am. So the time element is, nobody can check it. It's working very scientifically, you can say. And karma is also very scientific. Everybody is getting exactly what they deserve, what they desire. Those 2 factors are considered, and then higher authorities will determine where we're going when we leave this body. So it's not by chance. Remember when Prabhupada was in Japan, and there was a book had just come out by the atheistic philosopher called Chance and Necessity. And he was trying to prove that everything happens by chance. And Prabhupada was ridiculing. Where was the chance that he got, was it just by chance that his parents educated him? No, there was a plan. Educate this boy. He'll be learned. For everything there's a plan. But we don't see the cause. So we think, it's just by chance. Chance means we don't know what is the cause. But we know. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachitananda Vigraha, Anarya Arya Govinda, Sarva Karna Karnam. He's the cause of all causes. Krishna. So we want to please him. This is our goal. Whatever we do, we should consider, is this pleasing to Krishna? And Krishna may be far away. Like I was telling this story, Prabhupada was, one boy was coming and he a little bewildered. And Prabhupada asked him, can you remember Krishna? And he said, he couldn't answer right away. So Prabhupada said, that's okay. You can remember me remembering Krishna. So that was Prabhupada's position. And to remember Prabhupada is easy because he's given us this wonderful institution. We have his murti here. We have his books and distributing him. We know that was pleasing to Prabhupada. So we can just keep Prabhupada in the center. Shakshadhari. He's as good as Krishna. He never claims to be Krishna, nor do we think that he's Krishna. He's Jiva Tattva, but because he's of his purity, he's Shakshadhari. He's as good as Krishna because he's purely representing Krishna. Once in London, 1969. Prabhupada was giving class, and he was saying how the Guru is a representative of Krishna. And I got a mystical experience that Prabhupada was just in front of me, but I realized that he wasn't an ordinary person. He was really representing Krishna. And I very much appreciated it. So next morning I came to give my service to Srila Prabhupada, massaging, and I said to him, Srila Prabhupada, I very much liked your class last night. And Srila Prabhupada said, oh, what part did you like? And I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, the part where you said that you were the representative of Krishna. So Prabhupada liked that. He accepted it fully. He accepted it. And then he turned it around. And you also can be representative of Krishna, he told me. We can all represent Krishna. When you say Krishna said or Prabhupada said, then you're also representing Krishna. So it's not some mystical power you have to be to become guru. All you have to do is always represent Krishna. Represent. The word represent means you're representing the message of Bhagavad Gita. It's not very difficult. But you have to know the subject to some degree in order to represent perfectly. But even if you just have a basic idea, yes, Krishna is God and we're his servant, then you can preach. Tell people to put Krishna in the center, offer their food to Krishna, chant Krishna's name. Then you're preaching. Even a child can preach. You don't have to wait until you're fully realized before you preach. Just preach the two main things. I'm not this body, I'm the soul, and the body is changing, but I remain. And because my nature is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. But I'm the minute particle, amsa. Mama vamsa jiva loke. We're the jiva, the amsa of Krishna. God is great and we're small. But we have the same quality. So this we have to learn. Who am I and who is God? God is the source. And we're dependent on him. That's a fact. It's like we're sitting here talking philosophy. But if there's no air, then what can we do? We're dependent on the air. We're dependent on the sunshine. We're dependent on food. So many things we're dependent on. But still, due to pride, we think we're independent. This is called Maya. Maya means that which is not. We're not independent. But Maya makes us think we're independent. So we should be happy to declare our dependence. Yes, I'm a servant of Srila Prabhupada. I'm happy to be a servant of Srila Prabhupada. We can all feel like that. Because in ISKCON, for the next 10,000 years, Prabhupada's going to be the Acharya. So his books will be there, his Murti will be there. Even 1,000 years from now, nobody saw Prabhupada, but we'll have his books. So Prabhupada is there. And then, purification. In order to understand Prabhupada and Krishna properly, we have to be purified. Otherwise, we give the example of the bug on the lap of the king. He's very close to the king, but he doesn't get the benefit of the association of the king. So we saw that. Sometimes even Prabhupada's personal servants, they left Krishna consciousness. They became, familiarity breeds contempt. I remember I spoke to one of Prabhupada's servants after he left. I tried to get him to come back. And I said, how could that happen? He said, I don't know, but whenever Prabhupada rang the bell, I thought, oh no, oh God, what does he want now? So he was finished. He started thinking Prabhupada was an ordinary man. And why is he bothering me? So we have to be careful. Even a personal association can lead to a fall down if we just start thinking Prabhupada is like me. He's like us in one sense, but he's a pure devotee. And I didn't have any problem with that. I always knew that he was pure and that he was superior to me. But if Maya attacks, you can think Prabhupada's just like me. He puts his pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time. We become envious of him because this is the quality, just like we're seeing. They're envious of Krishna. Why they're envious of Krishna? So that is our original fall down. Isha dvesha samutvena. We come to the material world because we're envious of Krishna. So how do we get free from that envy? By glorifying Krishna. Then Krishna reciprocates with us. He will reciprocate. He promises. Ye yatama papadyante tam satami vajamiyaham. He'll reciprocate only from our side. We have to be a little sincere. Once Prabhupada was asked, well, how do we become sincere? Anybody know the answer? Prabhupada was asked this question. How do we become sincere? Prabhupada said, we become sincere by being sincere. There's not a technique that you get qualified. You're sincere by being sincere. We know what it means. It means that you're seriously trying to understand this subject, seriously trying to please Krishna and his representative, the spiritual master. So these two words, serious and sincere, they go together. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he was so serious, even a young boy, but he was able to see God in 6 months because he was so determined. Kshatriya quality, determination. So we have to have that determination because this is Maya's kingdom. We can easily be allured into thinking we don't need Krishna. What does he got to do? What does he have to do with me? I have my career. I have my my wife and family. This is my business. Let Krishna stay out of my business. Everybody's thinking like that. But devotees learn, no, unless I put Krishna in the center, all these things are ephemeral. They'll go away, but I remain. Then what happens? Oh, nobody knows. Yeah, we know. You're going to go to hell if you act like a demon. This is a chance, human form of life. So there's some urgency. Now I have this human form of life. If I take advantage of it, I can go back to the spiritual world. Otherwise, 8,400,000 species of life are waiting for me. If I miss the opportunity in human form of life, I can go again, become an alligator, again become an elephant, through the whole cycle before again coming to human form of life. So we have this human form of life. So there's some urgency. Don't remain like an animal. Animal means what? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So human beings have to do that also. But the Goswamis minimize. They gave up altogether defending and mating, and they minimized eating and sleeping. So we can't imitate them, but we can gradually come to that point of finishing sex life. This is the biggest obstacle, the sex attraction. But if we get a better thing, if we get a higher taste, then we can give it up. Like, who is it? Yamunacharya. He was a king previously, and he had so many beautiful queens he was enjoying. But then by meeting the pure devotee, he became a devotee. And after he actually attained the stage of pure devotion, he made this statement. Now, when I think of the sex life I used to have when I was the king, my lip curls and I spit at the thought. Because he was getting such a newer and newer pleasure or satisfaction from serving Krishna. Param jista navartate. When we get a higher taste, then it's not difficult. Otherwise, this sex attraction is very powerful. Well, we can get a higher taste, then. Just like I'm from New York City, right? My father was civil engineer. My mother stay-at-home mom. But I was an ordinary person. But by meeting Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's instructions, asking me to take sannyas and so on, then I've been able to avoid this. So everybody can avoid it. Not that I'm so qualified that I'm born in a very high-class Brahmin family and I have, no. So I'm the proof that anybody can become a devotee. But you have to be determined and you have to keep yourself under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. For us, that's not so difficult. He deserves to be followed. And we won't be, you can say, in any way hurting ourselves by becoming his servant. That's the anxiety. Because when we say servant, the anxiety is, oh, the master is going to be cruel. The master will exploit me. So I'd rather be independent. But Srila Prabhupada was not like that. He was always our well-wisher. He signed every letter, your ever well-wisher. And he protected us. He gave us shelter, real shelter. I can attest to sometimes how I was so, you could say, inspired by Srila Prabhupada's shelter. And he's still giving shelter. He can give to you, everybody. That's his Shakta base. He's empowered to be the Acharya for the next 10,000 years. Everybody can get shelter from Prabhupada. That's a fact. I'm sure some of you have. Some of you had dreams of Prabhupada? Anybody? Yeah. It's common because if we really cry to Prabhupada, he'll respond. He has that potency to help everybody in his society, ISKCON society. So he's the captain of the ship. We may be officers on the ship or something, sannyasi, but everybody's on the ship. What is that ship? ISKCON ship, going back to Godhead. We don't want to leave anybody behind. Come on the ship, and you can also qualify for entering the spiritual world. Otherwise, trying to swim, it's difficult to cross the ocean of material existence, material nescience. But in the association of the devotees, it's easy. We are speaking about association. So this is the most important item, that we associate with devotees, reveal our mind to devotees, hear from the devotees, exchange gifts with the devotees, take prasadam from the devotees. Then we'll become purified. And we'll have compassion on the non-devotees. And then we can preach with real feeling because we have something wonderful. Okay, any questions? I could read another verse, I guess. But what time we have? Text number 4. No, 3. Text number 3, I'll just read it in English. Securely binding up his cloth and tying back his curly locks, Lord Krishna addressed the elephant keeper with words as grave as the rumbling of a cloud. So this is Krishna. Just get the picture. He's a young boy, 16 or so. But here's the elephant and the elephant keeper. Krishna is tying up his head, getting ready to fight. And then now he's going to speak. Not some impersonal conception. We have clear conception. Here's Krishna. We meet the Mayavadis and the Buddhists. They say, no, God is everything and God is impersonal. No. The impersonal aspect is coming from God. Brahmano hi patistaham. Krishna clearly says in the 14th chapter that this Brahman, this impersonal energy, is resting on him, just like we're all resting on the floor here. So this energy, Brahman energy, is coming from Krishna. Pratistha is resting on Krishna. Pratistha aham, Krishna's. Report. Lord Krishna was obviously preparing for a fight. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord put aside his jacket, tightening his belt, and tied back his hair. So just how attractive Krishna is. He's attractive he's to everybody. When he comes into the assembly, we're going to read in the future verses how everyone was attracted to Krishna, except the demons. They were afraid. But all the ordinary people were attracted in some way. Of course, they weren't ordinary people. They were the associates of Lord Krishna, the elderly gopis, the cowherd men, the residents of Mathura. Everyone was attracted to Krishna in their own way. So God is one, but we have our own individual relationship with him. According to our desire and what we deserve, we have a rasa. So that rasa is already there. But now it's covered by mundane rasa. So this kirtan rasa will remove that mundane. Rasa means taste. If we get a taste for the kirtan, then we can give up this mundane taste. Because we get a higher taste. So we come full circle. Back to the point of emphasizing the kirtan. I see you have nice kirtans here. It's very inspiring for me. Sometimes I'm in a temple with just a few devotees traveling and so on. So it's nice to see so many people are serious about Krishna consciousness. Of course, it's in your blood here in India to be a devotee. You've heard it from your grandmother and so on. So you're very fortunate. Prabhupada said, those who take their birth in India should become perfect and spread this message. And there are many Indian people we see in America who have joined ISKCON and in Europe. So it's a fact. Everyone should understand the subject and give it to others. This is the highest compassion. Not that we just like sometimes the caste Brahmins, they want to keep everything. They're afraid to be open. They'll lose their status. So it's like a secret. They have secret mantras and secret rituals and so. But no, we're open. This is it. Chant Hare Krishna. Everybody can do it. Don't make it a priestly class, only have the knowledge and everybody else is stupid. Everybody can take to this process. Only qualification that I'm sincere about it. Should be sincere about taking it. Okay? One question. No? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, we want to know that when and how you meet first time to Srila Prabhupada.
The first time I met you, what was the first? That's the question? How I first met Prabhupada? Yeah. Well, I had become attracted to Prabhupada's disciples. They opened a center where I was a student. I started going to that ashram. And then they said, one of the boys said, because the summer vacation was coming, so I was going back to my house, or my home, my parents' home on Long Island. And they said, well, why don't you come with me when I'll be there and we can meet Prabhupada at 26 2nd Avenue. So Prabhupada was there in the original temple. So this devotee was there and I came and he brought me in to see Prabhupada in his room, the second story. And I was introduced to Prabhupada. And before I said anything, Prabhupada said, thank you very much. And I was surprised I didn't do anything. But that was Prabhupada's mood. He was throwing a big net. Everybody, come on, come on. And my first impression was that he was vulnerable. Because he was an old man sitting there. It wasn't a very good neighborhood. Sitting behind a little desk like this on the floor. And there was nobody at the door. Anybody could just walk in. And I was thinking, oh my God, what if somebody comes in and attacks him? Who will protect him? So that, I guess, speaks to my nature. I have a little Kshatriya nature, so I felt I should protect Prabhupada in some way. That he was vulnerable. That's okay? Would you like to hear the story how Prabhupada chastised me? Or how Prabhupada glorified me? Both I can do. One time, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was the GBC for all of India. And he came to me and he said, Prabhupada wants you to stay here in India and help manage Mayapur because Bhavananda was leading. And Prabhupada wants you to be the co-director with Jayapataka Maharaj. So I said, I'm not staying here. I already got a plan. I'm going to Korea, open a center. I had some boy with me and we were going to. So I said, you're not my GBC, and I walked away. Then, later in the afternoon, we were having Darshan with Prabhupada. So Gopal Krishna raised, Srila Prabhupada, Trivikram Swami said he's not going to stay here in Mayapur. So, then Prabhupada, what's the problem? Why you don't want to stay here? Prabhupada's done. Then I was making excuses, and then he said, you're a sannyasi, you've given up everything but your whim. So he was kidding. Then I made another excuse, and then he said, our formula is plain living, high thinking, but you're simply addicted to the city, which was true, because Mayapur at that time, there was nobody there except for the festival. It was just open fields. You know, down the road there was a Gaudiya Math or something, but nobody was coming to ISKCON. We didn't have anything. Just the kutir was there, few buildings. So anyway, Prabhupada I liked to go to the city because of the little hustle, right? I was selling books and back and forth. I felt some work satisfaction, but I couldn't just sit around. Anyway, I did stay ultimately until Bhavananda came back. But finally, Prabhupada, I said to Prabhupada, I've been a sannyasi for 5 years and I haven't had a chance to preach. So if I stay here, I can't preach very much because there's nobody knows English, only Bengali. So Prabhupada said, oh, you've been a sannyasi for 5 years and you haven't had a chance to preach? So what makes you think you know how to preach? Then I went, yeah. Then I surrendered. So I was a rascal. I was arguing with my spiritual master. But he convinced me, and I became more loyal to him, you can say, as years went on. I saw that he was really an unusual or unique person, that he could defeat anybody. Just like he defeated me, he could defeat anybody. Like on a morning walk in Los Angeles, they gave Prabhupada a book from a theologian. And the name of the book was, You're Okay, I'm Okay. So Prabhupada saw that, and he said, no, I'm okay, but you're not okay. So that was Prabhupada's position. He knew that he was okay, and that everybody else was in Maya. And he was ready to help them. He was always ready to extend himself. I remember once we were in New Vrindavan in early days, 69, and Prabhupada was sitting there under the tree, and devotees were coming to see him and sit and talk personally with him. And I was there for some time, and then my legs got tired. You know, I went and did some service, and like an hour later, I looked back, Prabhupada's still there, sitting and talking to new people who were coming, new people. He was like a well. He was always giving, always giving. Srila Prabhupada ki. So he's still giving. He's giving his books, his wonderful building here. Prabhupada fought so hard for this Juhu property. You know that. So difficult. Every step there was difficult. But we see the result is here. Okay, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can you give me one? There is an announcement. Hare Krishna. So it gives us immense pleasure to announce that today is the Vyasa Puja festival Tithi of His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj. And today he shared some of his memories with Srila Prabhupada, how he met with Srila Prabhupada, how Prabhupada chastised him lovingly. So it was indeed a coincidence and a nice question by Hanuman Prabhu. That's why all these pastimes we came to know about. And now there is going to be Vyas Puja celebration of Maharaj in Vanshi Hall, second floor, above Govinda's restaurant. It's tomorrow, but we are celebrating today.
That the initiating gurus should have Vyasa Puja one time, not multiple. But you should have consulted with me. Where's my disciple? I
So,
don't want to have Vyasa Puja every day.
so it's not going to be every day. Here we are going to have only once today. Now, so there is going to be a very surprising gift for you, Maharaj, after you get off the Vyasasan. It is unique gift from Juhu temple, ISKCON Radha Rajbari. That is, there is a story of Satyabhama Devi.
Who's in charge here of the temple? Huh? So is it proper that we're going to have a Vyasa Puja for me? Because it's not my birthday tomorrow. You know what they'll do here, then they want it in show party, then I have to do again, then like that. Everybody touching my feet, I'll go to hell.
We will not allow them to touch your feet, but you bless them. Give them blessing.
Okay, first of all, you have to give me
Hare Krishna. So, we will edit, I edit myself. There is going to be a very nice festival in the association of His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj. So, don't consider this as a Vyasa Puja. And before this festival, there is very nice surprising gift for Maharaj Ji here in the courtyard of Radha Rasbihari Ji. It is called as Tulabhar and Tuladan. So, it was done by Satyabhama Devi for Lord Krishna. So, it is a very nice surprising gift for Maharaj. I believe he is hearing first time. So first we will have Kirtan and thereafter there will be Tulabhar. If any devotee would like to sponsor, kindly contact me.